Welcome to another episode of the Mad Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Begley, Goni, and Wayne.
What's up, Mad Mob? Caught snacking. Let's get it. I stay on my toes, ready for somebody to put some food in their mouth when I start this thing.
That ain't hard to catch me, buddy. There's always food in my mouth.
No, it ain't. T.Y. Hilton, how you feel about it?
I don't.
Yeah, nothing. I feel absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, not a lot of roster changes going around. We gotta pick up some info wherever we can get it. Ramondre banged up, Kenneth Walker banged up, Kyler Murray banged up. Just rough times right before the playoffs.
Can we talk about why Dallas is in a hunt to pay a 35-year-old receiver between him and Odell Beckham? What are we doing? Why? I don't get it.
Because Noah Brown's not that guy. Michael Gallup's not even that guy, for that matter.
You don't think so?
He hasn't been since his rookie year.
I don't mind him, though. I mean, he does what he needs to do. He's a field stretcher. That's what he is.
See, man, here's the problem with that, though, is if you guys were in danger of not making the playoffs or you were, like, close to 500, he'd be, Michael Gallup sucks. We need anyone. But you guys are winning, so everyone's playing good right now, just because even if they don't have to do anything, he's doing his job.
Well, that's just not true at all because we're throwing the ball 20 times a game right now. We're running the ball 40 times a game. Why are we in a rush to go get a third receiver who may or may not play?
Well, we could take a look at it just to back up what I'm about to say, but I'm pretty sure you've been playing against a bunch of teams that aren't so good against the run. You've gone through a stretch of 5-6 straight games of terrible teams against the run. Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota, Giants, Indy, and Houston. You don't need to throw the ball.
What a brutal stretch.
He's a Cowboy. He's a Cowboy fan, man. He doesn't pay attention to those things.
What a brutal stretch of games right there. And then we had Philly before that. That's brutal. We were excited about our strength of schedule. That's tough right there.
It's not. You had the worst in the league coming into the season.
I'd say it's improved. It's not the worst now.
I mean,
we got piss hot Justin Fields. We got Aaron Rodgers on a revenge game. You got Minnesota. You got Philly. You got New York. Who's the other team you said?
Philly
Colts.
wasn't in there.
You got
New York. New York hasn't won a game since Week 10, though. They're on the coldest of coolers.
Indy's terrible. Houston's going to have the number 1 pick. The Giants aren't any good. Green Bay's not good. I mean, where's the tough stretch?
Well, the problem is we got Green Bay when everybody was doubting Aaron Rodgers. That was a pissed off Aaron Rodgers game. You throw the records.
People have been doubting Aaron Rodgers all year.
But the heat really got hot right before the Dallas game. It was prime time. You throw the records off.
I gotta cut this off. This is just Cowboy fan delusion here, and it's making my skin crawl.
Hey man, I'm sorry that we're better than the Buccaneers. I know it's chapter tale all year.
We'll see in the playoffs.
Typical Weed and Boys talk at this time of year for a Dallas Cowboys fan. Man, and the cycle goes on.
Best team in football. It's not close. We want the Chiefs. We want Buffalo. We want them all.
I'll put a doink that you don't win the NFC this year.
That's terrible business for me.
Okay, not them boys. Got it. Not them boys.
You said you're the best team in the NFL, and it's not close.
And I just gave you to win the conference, not even the Super Bowl.
I'm not. That's bad business.
Yeah, there we go. All right, got him off the pedestal. You're welcome, Mad Mob. Quick review of the CTFL. Goni with the worst week by far in CTFL history. The worst week we've ever seen. He finished this week with 18.3 points. 0 out of Fields, 0 out of Hall, 0.6 out of Moore, 6.9 out of Swift, 0 out of Galladay, 0 out of Kmet, 0 out of Tony, and 10.8 out of Damian Pierce for a grand total of 18.3.
Wow.
bringing him to 919.44.
played. 3 guys played. You're going through and I'm like, oh, that guy didn't play. He's on a bye. He's hurt. He's hurt. He's on a bye.
Just a bad draft.
Anyways, I followed it up
draft
with
for
another
position.
terrible week with a 36.5 showing. And none of my guys were really on buys, so that was just, I don't know what's worse. With a total of 1024.56. Begley, good week, 98.7. His total is 1,140.14.
It's over.
Nice lead with 4 weeks left.
It's over. It's done. It's in the
How
bag.
about them records, though? How about them records?
I am in last. I have Bears Panthers. I'm in last at 8-18. The Bears were on a bye. The Panthers got a dub. Let's see if I can get to double digits this year. Goni getting hot with the Jags and Lions is at 11-15. He's at 11-15. Beggs, who we've at first thought was uncatchable, is getting caught at 14-11-1.
Gone. It's close.
3.5 out. 3.5 out.
It's going to come down to the Lions and the Jets.
It's going to come down to more than that. But hopefully we
Well-
get 2 more dubs this week.
Well, the Giants are dog water. They're fading. It's. Can the Jets hang on?
They won you like 7 games, and they were in that brutal stretch that you were just talking about.
And that's all. That's probably all they're going to win me. So
I hope.
I'll sit back and let Begley give the DFS recap.
yeah, I'll give the recap. So first of all, I dominated both of them. I think I won by 48 points, something like that. Don't have it in front of me. Wayne, he didn't prepare me for this segment. But I'll address the elephant in the room here in a minute after I give the scores.
Please do.
Yes, definitely address the elephant because it's a big old elephant, and I'm sure you've been feeling nothing but guilt about it. And if you haven't, then you're just a bad guy.
All right, so I won DFS. I beat Goni by 43 points. I beat Wayne by 71 points. Wayne with an abysmal 85. Goni with a respectable 113. I had the 156. So the elephant in the room, if you recall, Mad Mob, we had 2 doinks. I doubled down on DFS this week. As such, I was on my toes. My lineup had to be perfect. We did a show on Friday. We set our rosters. We said on air who our rosters were. On Saturday, I started having doubts because Christian Kirk was in my lineup. I had read a few posts on Twitter. I had watched Stephania Bell on ESPN saying that Trevor Lawrence may not be full health. I got cold feet on Christian Kirk. So I did a faux pas. I changed my lineup after we talked about him on the show. And in tweaking my lineup, I was able to get Pollard and Swift my running back spot. And really, I only had one dud in my lineup, which was Evan Ingram, who I thought at the time. And for 5,100, you're just taking a shot. Turned out to be the play of the week. But I'll say this: Evan Ingram won me this week. Nobody talked about Evan Ingram. There was no information. There's no insider gut feeling there. I just got lucky. So you can put on the 3 players I changed, you could give me zeros for all those players, and I still beat Wayne. So I have no shame. With Goni, if you take away Tony Pollard, who I put in my lineup, who he also had in his lineup, I still wax him by 25. So I'll say this. Moving forward, I won't do that anymore. There was a couple doinks on it. I'll apologize formally, gentlemen, but I'm still going to absolutely collect my doink wins this week.
No shame.
Bad guy. He broke an unwritten rule.
He got the inside look. And Mad Mob, if you notice something, if you really noticed something when you were listening there, the whole thing stemmed because he was sketchy. Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, I'm sketchy. And then he went and put another offensive player that Trevor Lawrence throws the ball to in his tight end spot. So that whole excuse is just that. It's an excuse. It's not an accurate one. He got an inside look. Goni brought up Pollard, and he started thinking, oh, I do want Pollard. I do want Pollard in my lineup. That was a good call, Goni. And that's what caused the issues.
As a Cowboys
he's
fan-
bold faced lying about Trevor Lawrence's injury being the reason he changed it, because Trevor Lawrence's injury, that status was the same. It was literally the same and only got better through the weeks. You can check the dates on ESPN Fantasy app. They do updated dates based on his injury. And from the point that we did that episode until the time he played, it only got better per the ESPN Fantasy time-stamped updates. So let's ignore that completely and just focus on the fact. You can say no. It's on the ESPN Fantasy app, time-stamped.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'll see if I can find the article. The reality is, bro. First of all, I didn't need Goni to tell me that Tony Pollard. First of all, a player on my team is a good play against the Houston Texans, right? There's nothing to do with it. I could replace Tony Pollard with a 0, and I still beat you all, right? The reality is Evan Ingram hit. That's what one.
Evan Ingram was not in your lineup, though. The fact
wasn't
that
in the
the
lineup.
fact that your whole change was because Trevor Lawrence made you nervous with Christian Kirk, and then you go and you slot in a Jacksonville offensive player, just ruins your whole argument. You like the Pollard play.
So what would have happened, Beggs? What would have happened if you didn't make changes to your lineup at all? And you just played.
I
what
honestly
was.
don't know. I didn't do that. What I
know you didn't do that. I'm just asking what would have happened.
I'm taking my Doink L. I'm taking all L's because you could take zeros there, and I got whooped. I had a terrible week.
Absolutely.
But I'm arguing on the point of Goni and the fact that was shiesty. Either way you look at it.
Well, you know what? I would have
a lot of matchup players,
and that was real sketchy to do when we put Doinks on it.
I would feel a lot worse, but Goni has shoved down my lost Doink to John Mechie's cancer case start of the year. I feel absolutely no shame when it comes to Goni.
Okay, I'm proposing something, and my word's going to be law here. I've decided that my word is 100% going to be law here. No, it's facts. I'm being serious.
Okay, go ahead.
We are going to see what your lineup was when Goni made the Doink. And if you beat him with that lineup, you win. Otherwise, no. Because Goni made the Doink based on the lineup that you stated. He didn't make the Doink based on your updated lineup.
If you do that, you just take me on the Doink ledger. I'll never do another Doink again. I'll listen to you guys do Doink.
That's fine.
No, absolutely.
That's fine. Goni made a Doink based on the lineup that you discussed. He didn't make the Doink based
Doink
on the lineup that you changed.
We discussed our lineups. The Doink was made Monday. It was not after we discussed our lineups. So you're wrong.
Goni, confirm.
I don't remember when the Doink was made.
Exactly.
It was made on the episode. Why would we make it randomly?
The point is, Beggs, we had the way that it looks is that we had about 4 or 5 matching players, and it was going to come down to how the other 3 did. Now, it leads me to believe that you knew who my guys were, and you didn't think that your 3 were going to beat my 3.
That's exactly what it is. That's why he took out a Jags offensive player due to Trevor Lawrence's injury and then slotted in another Jags offensive player, but it's because of Trevor Lawrence. It was shiesty. It was low down.
It was on paper. Christian Kirk had an outstanding matchup. Tennessee's 32nd against the pass, right? It's an outstanding matchup. And he was 7,600. He was good value. He was in my
7,600 really isn't that good. 7,600 is pretty expensive.
Pretty good value. I watched.
But you still needed that juicy matchup. That's why you slotted Evan Ingram in.
Fantasy Football Now on ESPN2, they were talking about Trevor Lawrence possibly being hampered by the injury. I took him out. Evan Ingram was my last slot to fill. He was the cheapest player on my roster. You can look and confirm.
Tight ends always are. Tight ends always are.
For 5,100, he had the best matchup for the price. I rolled with him there.
But he had a hampered quarterback.
We didn't discuss Evan Ingram. We didn't discuss any of that. No, the players that I ended up having different than Goni, I dropped Deonta Foreman. Goni had Deonta Foreman, right? I dropped him, and I picked up DeAndre Swift in his place. I think they were, even? 6 points apiece or so? Right? I put Evan Ingram in my flex. Oh, I forgot who you had.
I don't know.
That's the only difference. I beat you with Evan Ingram, and you're all upset about it. And look,
it's because you changed out 3 players.
I changed up 3 players and a 9-player.
4 players. 4 really, because it was both running backs, Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram.
No, you're wrong about that. I had 3 different players in my lineup than I had before. 3.
You had Tony Pollard before?
I moved Garrett Wilson up. Garrett Wilson was my 3rd receiver. He was in my flex. I changed 3 players out of my lineup.
Okay.
And that was it. So just like we talk about fantasy football, the way I see it, this is the way I see it. Our lineups are their lineups Sunday morning. I didn't gain any advantage from any analysis we talked about putting Evan Ingram in my flex, by the way. The lineups are what they are Sunday at 1, and we roll with it. Overregulation is a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing in your fantasy league. It's a terrible thing in life. It's a terrible thing with doink bets.
We bring
an unwritten
it's a
rule, man.
power
we're bringing
play.
this up, and we're
power.
having this conversation, Mad Mob, to apologize that we won't be doing any DFS episodes anymore. You know, we didn't realize that one of our hosts were untrustworthy. It's just
fine.
it's how it is. We'll still do, you know, on Tuesday we'll still give you the DFS results from the week before, but we just me and Goni opened up the doors to the practice facility to the enemy, gave him the playbook, and he ran with it. I guess that's a strategy, and he used it and won this week.
If you can show me where you talked about Evan Ingram being a good play, I'll agree with you. If you can point
it's
to me-
not that you played Evan Ingram
It's
or
all
like
that.
you sneaked him, but no, it's that you're saying, you know, you change lineups or whatever for regular fantasy football. We don't do a podcast saying this is our lineup for Sunday. We literally did a podcast dedicated to the DFS, and that was the expectation, barring injury, and no one was injured.
Nobody
That's what we're
was
saying.
That's right. Yeah, I made a last minute change to my lineup. Again, we didn't formally declare. It was, as Wayne wrote, specifically an unwritten rule. I can see why, for the integrity of the show, and that's why I apologize. But 67% of my lineup was unchanged.
100% of my lineup was unchanged. How much of yours was unchanged?
Same.
And that's
100%
fine.
was
That's
unchanged.
fine. Listen, if you want to take your ball and go home, no big deal. I understand.
No,
It's what
we're
it is.
still DFSing it, but we just had to let the Mad Mob know while we'll be doing post week DFS episodes instead of prequels.
That's totally fine. No big deal at all.
No, unfortunately,
Anyways.
doesn't change any results at all, and it won't in the future.
The Doink bets as of right now. I lead the way at 7-4. Wayne second at 7-6. Begley third at 6-10. It's our updated standings right now. We'll see how it finishes out for the year. Boys, you want to talk about some players? Some players that'll potentially help out some of our guys here with the playoffs starting this week.
who you got?
Pretty exciting stuff. I mean, I'll just jump right into it, honestly. A guy I was going to bring up for waivers. Hopefully people got him. I think he can be an RB2 for sure for the rest of the way. It's J.K. Dobbins. He was available for 30% of the leagues. He's got Cleveland, Atlanta, and then Pittsburgh again in the Super Bowl. Just got activated off IR. My dude ran for 120 yards and a touchdown on 15 carries. How you feel about him?
I feel good about him.
Yeah, he's going to be solid. He's got a pretty good playoff schedule in an offense that doesn't have a lot of threats through the air. I think he's going to be somebody that you can rely on. Hopefully, people had him just stashed on his IR, just ready to come back and lead him to a Super Bowl.
That's the hope. I definitely think that the Ravens are going to lean on the run. I think he's a smash play this week against Cleveland. Anthony Brown is going to be looking to make his first start of the season with Tyler Huntley going out and being in the concussion protocol. Lamar still dealing with the PCL. I mean, they threw him in. They threw him in right away. Gave him 15 carries, and he ran with it. Did very well. So he's a guy I definitely like going forward. Jerick McKinnon. How do you feel about Jerick McKinnon and the performance he just had this past week?
I don't know that I can trust him yet, man. It's still a Kansas City running back with Pacheco there. I don't know.
Okay. What if I told you that this week, in the first week of playoffs, he plays the Houston Texans?
He's the third down back, right? I mean, Houston gets tore up on the ground. I think Pacheco's a better play than McKinnon this week.
Absolutely. That's not the question, though. What if you're in a pinch? You're in a pinch. There's certain guys. Would you play McKinnon or James Cook this week?
McKinnon.
Okay. He's got Houston. He's got Seattle in the second week. Then he's got Denver again in the Super Bowl. And Denver's who he just played. Absolutely tore it up. He is the pass catching back. Pacheco has been seen as the goal line back. He doesn't really get any of the passing work. He might get a target or two per game. I mean, I feel like he could do worse. Next one. Begley's going to hate it. Zonovan Knight. Zonovan Knight's probably still out there. Can't say enough good things about him, honestly. He's got Detroit this week. He's got Jacksonville next week, and he's got Seattle in the Super Bowl. Michael Carter came back, Beggs. Would you happen to know what the touch count was between the two? Let me tell you. 19-8. Zonovan Knight out-touched him against the Buffalo Bills. He's just a better, more explosive runner. He looked good. He scored a touchdown, got a couple, receptions out of the backfield. I think he's a solid flex going forward. Jerick McKinnon or Zonovan Knight this week?
I mean, you have to go Zonovan Knight just for the touchdown potential.
Man, Begley almost burst into flames having to admit that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're seeing the Jets playbook, man, especially with Mike White banged up. They're going to try to run. I mean, I think Zonovan's a lock for 15 carries a game. You got to respect it.
I think so as well. One that's going to sound probably kind of gross. Cam Akers. Cam Akers led the backfield in this previous game, played against the Raiders. He got 12 carries. 12 carries. He got a reception. He fumbled it. He didn't fumble the reception, but he had a fumble. Scored a touchdown. He's got Green Bay this week. Green Bay, Denver, and Chargers. This is kind of, in my opinion, it would be a 1 week play if you're really in a pinch. How do you feel about that offense as a whole and Cam Akers going forward?
It's awful.
Wayne, how do you feel about Cam Akers?
He's going to be serviceable.
Serviceable.
He's any RB1 that's like, because Darrell Henderson has just faded into nothingness. I mean, anybody that's sharing the lion's share, regardless of how crappy the team is going to be serviceable. Look at Dameon Pierce. He's been serviceable most of the year in an awful offense.
Jerick McKinnon against Houston this week or Cam Akers against Green Bay?
I assume that's for Wayne because I'm never taking Cam Akers in any of these.
Never ever? Cam Akers. I really don't mind that, honestly. I really don't mind that at all.
Jerick McKinnon got most of his points. He had over 100 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns in a team that spreads the ball out through the air, and that's he's just not going to do that again.
Would you? Oh, I mean, it's still super far away. Would you play him in the Super Bowl, even since they're playing Denver again? Do you think it was a scheme thing, or do you think it was, Denver's got a good passing defense? Maybe it was something to where it was part of the game plan to dump it down to him and let him run. He had that one big catch and run, which made up the bulk of his yardage. But, I mean, the man had like 7 receptions, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 receptions on 9 targets.
Yeah, I think that was a flash in the pan. I think he can be like a steady double-digit guy, but he's not going to do anything close to that again the rest of the year.
Where does Chuba Hubbard rank in this pantheon of guys? He's another one that I was looking at.
Last
of the bunch. He went 14 for 74 and a touchdown, 3 receptions, 25 yards. He was again out carried by Deonta Foreman, but It's looking like the Panthers though they're just running and running and running. So they've kind of been able to both be productive. They have the Steelers this week. They've got rough matchups. He's probably near the bottom for me as well. They play the Steelers this week. I think he is a potential pinch play, and I say that on the basis of that. I think the Steelers are going to struggle to score against them this week. Your opponent struggling to score against you doesn't put you in a negative game script where you have to throw and have Sam Darnold chucking it 30 times. So, with that being said, I could see he and Foreman getting both, I could see Chuba getting 12.
The Panthers
12
dropped
14
30 this
carries.
week against a terrible Seahawks defense. Their offense is almost as inept as the Bucs offense right now. The fact that they were able to get multiple touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard got one. They had some no-name get one. Blackshear get one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Shi Smith got one. The touchdowns aren't going to be going around.
Shi Smith.
He had 5.3 yards per carry, and that's even then he only got 7 points on the ground if that's how you want to break it up at 5.3 yards per carry, and I think he had a couple catches. It's not anything sustainable for me in that offense.
You'd have to hope for a touchdown. That's
exactly.
really what it is.
You have
I
to
know
hope for a
I'm not
touchdown
talking
and a
about-
terrible offense.
Yeah. Wide receivers. A couple wide receivers. Alec Pierce coming off the bye. He's available. He was available everywhere, before the waivers. 87%. We've seen him show flashes a few times throughout the season. He's going to face Minnesota this week, who is the third worst passing defense in the league. Colts are 4-point dogs. It's going to be a 47.5 point over-under, which isn't terrible. That gives the Colts 20 implied points. And they're facing elimination. It's the end of their season. They're most likely not going to make the playoffs. I feel like they're going to chuck it, man. I feel like they're going to chuck it. See what these guys can do. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know about this one going. I'd rather have somebody like DJ Chark or Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think, as a prayer here instead of Pierce.
I like
Donovan
Donovan
offense
Peoples-Jones.
is anemic.
I'd probably take Peoples-Jones against the Ravens this week over Alec Pierce. Kind of just looking for a boom game, looking for high scoring. You know that the Vikings are going to put up points. One of your favorites, Beggs, Elijah Moore. How you feel about Elijah Moore coming around here?
Man, the talent's there. If he could just get 10 targets, he'd be dangerous.
He's got the Lions this week. He's got Jacksonville next week. He's got Seattle. He could be a good stretch run guy. The man saw 6 receptions this week for 60 yards. Over his last 2 games, 16 targets. So what do you want to see? The man's getting targets. Mike White may or may not play, but that's not a bad thing because Zach Wilson is nowhere in sight. Joe Flacco is the backup, and we all know what happened when Joe Flacco played early in the season. The man's going to throw the ball 50 times.
Yep.
I like it personally. I think he's absolutely a guy that if you need a receiver to plug and play, he should be near the top of the list if he's available, or if you happen to get him on your team.
Big time buy low candidate in Dynasty too, man. 22% target share and 92% route participation. He was involved finally.
And I mean, on top of participating in the routes, he was actually targeted to make things the most of it. I mean, we've seen him participate in plenty of routes, and he just didn't get the ball. So being targeted, an average of 8 times a game over the last 2. Hopefully that bodes well. Lions are hot right now. They're scoring a lot of points. Jets probably going to have to throw to keep up. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Wayne. Romeo Doubs. Tell me how you feel about Romeo Doubs.
Sketchy.
Sketchy. How sketchy?
Very sketchy.
Well, he probably won't play this week. This is more of a stash guy than I was looking at. Way more of a stash guy. He is playing the Rams. Well, Green Bay is playing the Rams this week. He probably won't play. They have the Dolphins next week, and then they get the Vikings in the Super Bowl. It's going to take a big old set of stones to play him in the Super Bowl. But we're looking at deep plays here, man. We're looking at deep plays. He averaged 6 targets a game before his injury. He's been out for many, many games.
On Twitter, he said he expects to play Monday night against the Rams.
Oh, all right. I still like him for the stash run. I'd probably not play him this week personally. Full disclosure, I just wouldn't. I'd like to see him back.
Rodgers
But the
found
Dolphins
his guy.
isn't a bad matchup.
Rodgers found his guy.
He found his guy because his other guy, his first guy, got injured.
He's got 2 guys.
2 guys.
Yeah, he's got Lazard and Watson now.
Yeah, but Lazard, man. Lazard has been one of those guys that I don't know, man. I know. Like he's the safe play for sure. I just he scares me, man. He seems like a safer floor and not like a boom play. I think Romeo Doubs, if I'm going to be fully honest with you, it's one of those things where if you're going into your Super Bowl and you're hurting, or if you are for some reason like a heavy dog and you need a boom game, Romeo Doubs is a guy that could throw out a boom game. Sometimes you got to go for the gusto, man, and like throw in guys that are boom or bust and hope for the big game just because you're simply overpowered by another team as far as projections go or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't hate it. We'll see how it goes. Beggs, last one.
Yo.
Then we could talk about whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Nico Collins. Tell me about Nico Collins.
I mean, this is a guy I've been on for a while, man. He's led Houston in targets and yards since week 2, I think. He's the alpha there, man. He's 23 years old. The Texans are gonna play him. They want to see what they've got. I think. Who else does Chris Moore scare you? I don't think he's gonna vulture any targets. Plus, they get the Titans and Jags week 16 and 17. Give me Nico Collins, man. He might be at the top of my list here, going honestly. He's talented, man.
Honestly, yeah. They have KC this week, 4th best matchup for wide receivers. You hit it with Tennessee, the best matchup as of right now for wide receivers in your semifinals. And then Jacksonville in the Super Bowl, man. He's seen 36 targets over his last 4 games. Quick math, Mad Mob says that's 9 a game. Like, and what Beggs alluded to right there is Brandon Cooks. He's trying to get healthy himself with his injury, but he's gone through his personal quarrel with the team, not getting traded. The Texans are well out of any kind of playoff. They're basically going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. So, I mean, I could absolutely see them going to Nico as the future number 1. Use these last couple games and just absolutely pepper that man with targets. I could see him getting 9 or 10 targets a game from here on out.
Yeah, I think
Wayne?
so. I mean,
Eye roll. What you got?
Trash.
Why?
wow.
All these targets, and he struggles to get double-digit points every game. It's coming off an injury. They're having just serious quarterback issues there. They're always playing from behind, which equals they're always needing to pass. They've had to pass every single game to try and catch up. and his best game this year is what, 15 points. He's gotten double digits 3 games this year, maybe 4. Now he's got a foot injury, and absolutely, literally nothing has changed except more turmoil at the quarterback position.
That's a pretty big change, though. Would you not say? It's not like Davis Mills is a world beater either.
No,
Yeah,
they suck.
good.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever's throwing him the ball sucks. If I'm under center, and I've got DeAndre Hopkins, I can target him 150 times, but I'm not going to hit him once. So that's how I'm looking at it. I mean, yeah, his target share is up because they suck. They're always losing. They always have to pass, but his target share has been decent all year to the tune of what? Wide receiver 50 something? And he's only missed 1 game all year. To be healthy all year and still be wide receiver 50 something outside of flex territory, that's not good.
I think a big part of his problem is the touchdowns aren't there. But this late in the season, man, to get an alpha receiver, to get an wide receiver 1 on a team, it's pretty rare.
And you only need this. We're talking about a stretch of 3 games is what we're looking at. The regular season's out the window. No one cares about that. The new season is on. You just need to get hot for 3 games. And he's got probably 3 of the best matchups you can get.
Yeah.
That might be the case, but the Texans also don't care anymore. They're just they're first pick hunting. Do you think they're going to be trying to go nuts?
Go nuts how?
I mean,
get these dubs.
They tried to against Dallas.
I mean, they're
come on, dude. Any team could have stopped a 98-yard drive at the end of the game.
Dameon Pierce is not going to play this week. They're not going to run. I don't think they're going to run Rex Burke. I think what they're going to do, man, they're going to groom him to be the number 1. With
that
Brandon
might be
Cooks
the case,
out.
but if you're at that Texans front office and you're like, okay, Nico Collins, that's my guy. That's who is going to usher us into the new era. Nico Collins. He just missed last week because of his foot, but yeah, we want to see some more of him. Wouldn't you tone him back? Wouldn't you take care of your assets? Your season's done. Why would you all of a sudden just throw the guy who, as you say, is going to be their guy of the future back into the fray when he's just missed a week due to a foot injury and this season's absolutely just done for with them? That's what I'm saying. These types of teams, I have no trust in any of their skill positions at this point in the year.
I think it's more about seeing what you got, man.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Why not? I mean, he's a baby. He was the 89th pick, so he's got decent draft capital. Why not just see what he's got? I mean, they've been terrible for a couple years. Just get some more tape on him. I don't think that's a bad thing from Houston's perspective. If he gets hurt and he misses the rest of the year, so be it. But I don't think they really care, to be honest.
And I think he got in some limited practices last week. He just wasn't good to go. So I mean, I'm with Beggs in the fact that generally, man, you play your younger players. When you're out of it, you play your younger players in pretty much all of sports. Just to see
but not if they're your dudes. And how are you going to see what you got? You should know what you got. He's played double-digit weeks. And now it would be different if Davis Mills was their guy or whoever, and it's okay, we got a couple more regular season games. Any time that they have together on the field to build more chemistry for next year is going to be nothing but helpful. But everybody and their brother knows that the Texans are drafting a quarterback, so this chemistry building time between whichever quarterback is under center for the Texans and Nico Collins is pointless for next season.
Well, let me
just reps though.
Let me throw this out there. Yeah, do players get better by playing, right? So why not give him an opportunity to improve himself here?
It's what it is, man. I know you hate him.
He's an NFL player.
Reps.
He's an NFL player. He's got plenty of reps. He's played in double-digit weeks. He's not a rookie.
He's only a second-year player, though. I mean,
I
he's
know.
still a
Like
baby.
reps is like he's got reps. He's had 2 years of NFL experience in him. Reps with his quarterback would have been more important, but he's not playing with his quarterback right now. This is a complete difference of opinion. I think
To
it's
me, is it not similar to George Pickens right now? Or, you know what I mean? It's a young guy. Let him just play. Steelers aren't winning anything this year. But let
Jahan
him play.
Dotson.
Jahan Dotson's another one. Heineke's not going to be there.
okay. But you all are saying Nico Collins is their receiver, their WR1 of the future. Is Jahan Dotson? Is George Pickens? Like they just paid Deontay Johnson. Like they still have their receiver. Like they have Terry McLaurin. They just paid Terry McLaurin. Like Jahan Dotson, George Pickens could very easily slide to the 1, but they also just paid another receiver who could very easily be the WR1 as well. And the Commanders, Jahan Dotson is definitely not their number 1, and in most cases, not their number 2. So you're comparing apples to oranges here. Nico Collins, you all are saying, is their WR1 of the future. The other 2 guys you mentioned are not that guys for their team. Not.
But I mean,
But at the same time, though, man, you can't just. What are they going to play? A bunch of scrubs that don't matter?
No. But I'm also saying they're not going to absolutely just just try and get this man 150, 200 yards because that's just more. Every single time you throw him the ball, he's getting drilled by somebody. You don't want to put them out. Like if that's your WR1 of the future, if that's what the front office has decided, then they've already seen that. You all are saying that as well. You've already seen that Nico Collins can be their WR1. So if you all can see this, do you think the front office saw it? They've already seen it. He's already proven that he can be that according to you all. So why not the front office as well? So why just put more mileage and more hits on the guy if he's not serving any purpose like building more chemistry with his quarterback? Unless he's going to be putting on a Alabama uniform or Ohio State uniform in the college football playoff, the chemistry he's building is pointless right now.
But yeah, you're right. The chemistry with the quarterback's pointless, but he's still getting better at his craft. It's like, are you going to sit Hollywood Brown if you're the Cardinals now? Now that Kyler's out for the year? No, you're still going to play him over these last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, agreed.
Plus,
But
the entire point of this is that the man's going to see like 9 or 10 targets a game from here on out.
yeah, that's what I'm saying is like he might get 8, maybe 9 or 10 targets, but they're going to be crappy targets. You all are acting like they're going to be like, let's see what we got and give him 15 targets a game. He might get 8 or 9 targets. I don't think they're going to increase his workload to see what they got. They know what they have. They've had him for 2 years now.
9 targets from anyone is excellent.
But
Any
he's going to
receiver in the
get
league.
he's only going to get 4 of them. He's only going to catch 4 of them because they're going to be crappy
That's
targets.
Fine, though.
That's my point.
Opportunities.
That's why I
We're
don't trust
scraping
Nico
the barrel
Collins.
here.
That's why I
We're
don't trust Nico
scraping
Collins.
the barrel.
That's fine. That's why I'm saying I'll take a Donovan Peoples-Jones over Nico Collins.
Man.
Goni, I think we're finding out who really hates volume on this show.
I think we are.
He just argued for 20 minutes against volume. There it is.
This
Fair
isn't
enough.
running back volume. Wide receiver volume is not running back volume. Running back volume is you should be getting at least 0.1 every time they touch the ball. Again, if I'm under center, I can throw you a ball 150 times. What would you rather have? DeAndre Hopkins, where I'm throwing the ball 150 times, or Jamar Chase, who Joe Burrow was throwing him the ball 10 times? Who would you pick?
Well, first off, you're selling yourself short here. I have the utmost confidence out of 150 times. Have you seen DeAndre Hopkins play football ever? You can throw it anywhere in his general direction. He's probably going to catch it.
Have you seen me,
Probably
dude?
gonna catch it.
I'm not going to be able to get a ball over my linemen. I'm going to hit them.
What?
I'm going to absolutely concuss them by throwing balls
Just
into the
throw
back
it
of their heads.
Straight up. Actually, throw it as hard as you can to the sideline, as high as you can. That's the formula to not
Got
throw
it.
picks.
Got it. Shoulder surgery, man. Hopefully, I make it to the sideline.
Hey, man, wide receiver screens. All right.
Hey, Wayne, you're planting your back foot and you're throwing a screaming Mimi at least 20 of the 150 times, right?
That's what I have to do every time. Do you think I'm going to give Do you think I'm going to give a defensive lineman any sort of opportunity to get anywhere close to me? I'm calling hike and just turn towards me because I'm not holding the ball any longer than a second.
The old 10-yard shotgun.
I'm not finding the laces. Nothing. You're getting a duck ball. However it hits my hands, it's going into my hands, and I'm transferring it directly to anybody. I don't care who it is. I'll throw an interception.
Wobbling ducks.
Hey, you know what? I got faith you could throw 150 bubble screens. You could do that.
Hey, 150 bubble screens. I could throw 150 bubble screens in the NFL. I might complete 2 of them.
Dude, I give you, honestly, bubble screens, you're completing 100 of them, right?
I think
It's a
I could
five-yard throw, bro.
Yeah,
I think that
but let's
DeAndre
be honest.
Hopkins
Let's be honest. This isn't Josh Allen throwing a laser beam. You're still throwing the ball every bit of 10 to 15 yards on a bubble screen, right? On a receiver on the outside. If you have a Jalen Ramsey pressing, he's absolutely going to get there before I can get that ball to him. I'm going to have to rainbow a bubble screen 15 yards.
Wayne, I'm saying I think that with DeAndre Hopkins, can put up more fantasy points than Joe on 150 throws than Joe Burrow can with Jamar Chase at 10.
No.
If Jamar Chase is if they're playing the 49ers and I get to play against like Tennessee.
Bro, you put a doink on it?
I just don't think so, man.
Okay.
I don't
When
think
can we
so.
make this happen, NFL? This is important. It's for science.
Because I just the corners are going to be in the breadbasket. There's going to be no safety help. Safety help is useless. It's going to be like Calvin Johnson against the Saints when they had 2 corners pressing Calvin Johnson. The safeties serve no purpose whatsoever when you and I are under center. They serve no purpose. So they're just going to double up. One person's going to stay on. One person's going to go to bat the rainbow I try and throw on my bubble screen. Think about it, dude. They're game planning for us.
Bro, but you know what? The one time he beats the press and you throw a 20-yard just piss rod right into his hands. Come on, dude. Tell me that's
what I'm saying, dude. Right, I would just go out there and throw 10 screens in a row, and on the 11th, pump fake the screen, and then boom, it's over.
Yeah, bro.
And then I overthrow him or I underthrow him, and he's mad at me.
Yeah, and then boom, a completely inaccurate throw.
Yep.
Do you think, honestly, if you had 10 throws, and I'm talking about actual football field, you have a receiver lined up on the outside, you're in the middle of the hashes, and do you think you could hit somebody like Jalen Waddle in stride 20 yards out?
No.
Well, all right.
No.
It would probably take
football, bro.
No. Well, I'm saying it would probably take three routes to see how fast he is, and I'm just gonna start cocking it back when he gets about 5 yards out. Like as soon as you go, I'm winding up and I'm throwing and just hoping that that's enough of a lead. I got to throw it probably as hard as I can. That's the
100%. There's no way. I don't think I think if I had 10 throws, I might hit him once, and it's because he made an incredible one-handed diving grab.
You're not going to be out in front of him. None of us are.
No, absolutely not.
No, he's going to be staring at his watch waiting for my pass to get to him, which beats the in stride thing, but I don't know. Football's hard. People that have never played football, it's hard. These NFL players make it look easy.
Thanks.
What's the hardest position in your opinion besides quarterback?
Corner, by far.
Corner.
The game is game scripted for you to fail. It's the most.
I like that.
It's the most. Unless you get a pick, it's like if you're doing your job very well, then they're just not throwing on your side of the field. What's the glory there? If you're doing your job A1, you are covering, you are all over your receiver. Let's say you've played against who's a I'm trying to think of an example of an okay receiver.
Of an okay wide receiver?
Alan Lazard.
Okay, let's say you play Alan Lazard. You've played against him all game, and not a single pass has gone your way because you've been draped all over him. You've been doing your job incredibly. So, in other words, you haven't been seen. So, all the fans have no idea that you're even existing. The casual fan has no idea that you've done your job well. But then one play, you get a 12-yard pass interference, and all of a sudden you suck. Everybody looks at obviously your coaches and your team know better, but like from a fan
give up the
perspective,
game-winning touchdown.
yeah, from a fan perspective, you're awful. Even though you've been incredible all game, it's just because you're not seen. If you're a corner, you're not seen unless you're failing. Aside from a pick, which a great season you get 8 or 9 of those on a great season. So you're not seen unless you're failing, and that's what sucks about being the corner.
I think kickers are the same way too, right?
Yeah, that's one of those jobs too where all eyes are on you from the start of the play, middle of the play, end of the play.
Yeah, dude, and teams will cut you immediately. They don't care. You miss one, you're out of here.
Rodrigo.
Yeah,
Rodrigo Blankenship. Yep.
stressful.
What are we at? 50 minutes?
What we got coming up this week here, boys? Well, why don't we take a look at the schedule, man, and maybe point out some big time fantasy games from my perspective. Thursday game, Niners Seahawks. Line's only 3.5. It's kind of low. Maybe because Brock Purdy's
Who's
hurt.
at home?
Seattle.
Oh, so the Niners are road
Touchdown.
favorites.
Yeah.
I mean,
Colts
I think
Vikings.
CMC is going to be phenomenal.
Is Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson going to score 1 million points this week against the Colts?
He should.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Do you give Peoples-Jones the flex start against the Ravens? I do.
Yes.
Yes. Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence, man. He's one of the hottest quarterbacks in fantasy. He's been like QB6, I think, since week 6 or something. Do you play him against Dallas in the playoffs?
No.
I'm not. I have the two people in one of my leagues. I have Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence, and I'm going to play Dak Prescott this week.
Justin Fields against the Eagles or Lawrence against the Cowboys?
Justin Fields.
Really?
Trevor Lawrence
I don't see how you don't play Justin Fields.
by taking him out of your lineup.
Really?
Yeah, but in good conscience, I just don't see how you take him out of your lineup. You rode Justin Fields to get to the playoffs. Over the back half of the season, he's probably the QB1 over the back half of the season.
Yeah, but he's been kind of hurt. You know what I mean?
Last couple, yeah, but he played last game, didn't he? Or did he
play-
not?
did not.
Yeah, before his bye.
Well, he had
yeah.
a bye, but yeah.
He missed their last game. Trevor Simeon played. He's been QB1 since week 6.
So
Okay. Zonovan Knight or DeAndre Swift? They play each other.
Oh, Zonovan Knight. As bad as that as bad as that feels and sounds, I've been looking in Lexus League for anyone to play over DeAndre Swift, who I have, and it's between Swift and Gus Edwards, and I can't bring myself to put Gus Edwards in over DeAndre Swift. But
Wayne?
Zonovan Knight, I'd give it heavy thought.
Wayne, what are you doing now?
I would like Zonovan Knight, I think, over DeAndre Swift this week.
It feels gross, but like DeAndre Swift is like he only got 6.9 this week, but he got 21 the week before, and then he got 10, then he got 11, then he got 8. It's just he rides
difference,
the
though.
he rides the am I going to be involved in the passing game this week? That's kind of what he revolves around because he's not getting the touchdowns. I mean, I know he got a touchdown week 13, but before that, like Jamal Williams vultures everything. I think he lives or die by if he's game scripted to get a decent amount of passes.
It's honestly, it's not even that he's getting vultured that much. It's the fact that 21-point game that he put up, he got 15 carries. That man ain't seen 15 carries since week 1. It went right back to 5 last game with him putting up a Dudley 6 or whatever it was.
If you were a DeAndre
I'm not doing
Swift,
5 carries in a game.
if
Sorry.
you were a DeAndre Swift drafter, what a terrible high just to go crashing down for week 1 to get 26 points. Week 2, he gets 16 points. Week 3, 6 hurt. So, like, after week 1 and 2, you're like, okay, I got me a stud. Like, I got me an official RB1 to ride to the Super Bowl. And then he just fades into nothingness. It's a bad beat.
Yeah. He's not getting opportunities. I don't want to play a guy that's going to get less than 10 opportunities in my fantasy playoffs at the running back position. It's just bad business. That's why I'm looking for anything. So Zonovan Knight feels terrible, but I think he's a better play.
If I said Jamal Williams, does that change your mind?
Zonovan Knight or Jamal Williams?
Yes.
I'll take
I'd
Jamal.
probably take Jamal Williams. He gets the carries. He's the lead back of the two.
Travis Etienne against Dallas or Najee against Carolina?
Najee.
With DJ Moore in a boot, Terrace Marshall against Pittsburgh, or say Deontay Johnson or George Pickens?
George Pickens / Deontay Johnson.
I think Terrace Marshall, man, he might be all right. I might go Terrace Marshall there. Carolina's got some dudes, man.
I know, but we
even
kind of
DJ
already covered
Moore,
that
man.
they're going to be running. They're going to be rushing more than anything. They got Chuba Hubbard, Dante Foreman. I don't know.
Low scoring game. Laughably low over under this week. I think it's like 38.
Juju Smith-Schuster against Houston or Jerry Jeudy against the Cardinals?
Jerry Jeudy.
Interesting. Okay. Wayne?
For the same reason we talked about with Dak and CeeDee Lamb, bro. CeeDee Lamb didn't have a good game, and that's because Houston just by pure being terrible have some of the least amount of passing yards against them, and that's only because teams score on them fast and then just run all over them. And
That's not the Chiefs' way, though, man. The Chiefs pass it, and they don't care. If they pass it, and they pass it some more.
Mm-hmm.
You're 100% right for, like, typical game script. When you're up, you run the ball, you play the clock. It's just not how the Chiefs operate, though.
Wayne, who are you taking, Juju or Judy?
Juju.
I'm taking Juju as well. Keenan Allen or Chris Godwin? Keenan Allen gets the Titans. Chris Godwin gets the Bengals.
Keenan Allen.
11
All
times
day.
out of 10. Buccaneers offense sucks. Tom Brady, not good.
Any world you're sitting Mike Evans against the Bengals after a 0?
Nah, this is the boom game.
Yep. No, this is
This
exactly.
is the boom game.
Tom Brady apologizes after the game and then absolutely just blisters them next game.
Yeah, he probably comes out and scores like 3 touchdowns this week for real.
Darius Slayton or Jahan Dotson? They play each other.
Darius.
Yeah, Darius Slayton.
Do you play Terry McLaurin against the Giants or D-Hop against the Broncos?
D-Hop.
With Colt
D-Hop.
McCoy playing? I'm
D-Hop.
going McLaurin.
I'll put a doink on
Who
it.
was the other one?
McLaurin against the Giants or D-Hop against Denver?
Who wants the doink? I got D-Hop.
I'll take the doink.
Mark it.
I don't love it. It's not a hot, passionate doink, but
It's not
We need
hot
a
and
doink on this
passionate,
show.
but it's a doink.
it'll get the job done.
It's solid. It's a blue-collar doink, if you will. It's a bricklayer's doink.
It's a bricklayer's doink.
Is there any world, Wayne? Well, no, never mind. Jacoby Myers against the Raiders or Devonta Smith against the Bears?
Is Devontae Parker out?
I don't know the answer to that.
Devontae Parker is out, and Ramondre Stevenson is out. Give me Jacoby Myers.
Ramondre is on pace to play. What if Ramondre plays and the Parker's out?
I think I still want Jacoby. Give me that 13-point floor.
I agree with you. Are you on board with that one? Jacoby over Devonta Smith against the Bears.
Is Jacoby on pace to play?
Last I read, yes.
The 13-point floor, 15-point ceiling.
Yeah. That sounds about right. I'm in there.
Alvin Kamara against the Falcons or David Montgomery against the Eagles?
Kamara.
He's been so bad lately.
And it's a divisional game, but it's also the worst division in the NFL by far.
I think he tore up the Falcons the last time they played earlier in the season. Could be wrong.
Is Olave against the Falcons a lock in all lineups?
Yeah.
I think he has to be.
Is Jamison Williams in any of your all's lineups?
Ooh. See, if he doesn't have that one catch, he served no purpose that game. I think I'm gonna probably just let him rest the rest of the year.
Also, Alvin Kamara did in fact not tear up the Falcons earlier in the season. They played week 1. He scored 7.6 in a PPR format, 9 carries, 39 yards, 3 receptions for 7 yards. No, I actually spoke with number one fan of the podcast, Charlie Brown, last week. He was asking about Jameson Williams. He's a huge Jameson Williams fan. He was asking if he should play Jameson Williams or Gabe Davis this past week. I told him I'd play Gabe Davis, but it was only on the basis that the week before he had an 11% snap share. Jameson Williams did. He saw 1 target, no receptions. I like guys that stay on the field. Odds are the guys that are on the field more, especially when you're talking that low of a percentage, guys that are on the field more than that are going to outscore him. But as Wayne said, man catches 1 ball and it goes for a touchdown. So he outscores Gabe Davis. What luck.
Number one fan of the podcast, if you'd have reached out to Wayne or I know we both would have told you Jameson Williams this week unequivocally. So
last week, not this week.
Last week, just some opportunity lost there, Charlie.
So would you play Jameson Williams or Gabe Davis this week?
I'm playing Gabe this week. I think Gabe's has a big game this week, for the record. I'm calling my shot there.
Why?
He's due. Variance. He's been so bad.
Will it change your mind? Will it change your mind that the game is potentially going to be played in about, 2 feet of snow?
Yes, that would change my mind.
Well, lo and behold, the game is probably going to be played in about 2 feet of snow.
Is it really?
Yeah, sure is. It's in Buffalo. Snows a lot there. So much, in fact, that they had to go to Detroit that 1 week to play because of the 6-foot snowstorm. But yeah, they're supposed to get another dusting of snow to the tune of at least 2 feet.
I like Gabe Davis, man. We've seen this player model in Lockett and Mike Williams, man. You know, they bounce back with big games. Just what they do.
I have to play Gabe Davis. I hope he does. I'm a dog in one of them. I need all the boom players. I'm playing Gabe Davis and Mike Williams in a league. I need all the booms. I'm going for broke.
Waynejamin. Jonathan Taylor against the Vikings or Nick Chubb against Baltimore?
Nick Chubb.
Gooney?
Give me Jonathan Taylor. Don't love it though.
Baltimore
I won't
is so
ask.
good.
Yeah,
So-
I
so
can't
good
do
on the
that. What'd you say, Beggs?
Baltimore's just got such a good run D.
They do. Division game.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wayne.
I try and let everybody have their opinion for the most part, but whenever we're going with this many opinion pieces, we got to at least get one doink in.
We did. I took the.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not like. That's why I'm not calling for doinks every time we have a difference in opinion.
Pick two. Gus Edwards, Jeff Wilson, Kareem Hunt.
Is Jeff Wilson gonna play?
If not, I'll take Mostert. It's fine. Let's just say Miami's backfield. Miami's backfield: Kareem Hunt or Gus Edwards.
Kareem Hunt. Lock that one in.
Okay.
Miami's
You
back.
gotta like Gus, right?
J.K. Dobbins, man, he's back.
I know, but they're gonna run the ball 80 times. It's Anthony Brown under center.
Man, Kareem Hunt's been awful this year.
Awful.
Ouch.
By the way, I'm sure you all watched it on Red Zone when J.K. Dobbins had his breakaway run and it looked like both hamstrings tore off the bone while he was running. Did you all notice that? A man was scooting. He wasn't even running. It was a scoot.
My man hasn't run in a long while. All right, leave him be.
He didn't pass the eye test.
Didn't pass the eye test. You can't always.
No, I thought about adding him as a 11th hour DFS ad, but decided against it.
Man, integrity, honor. Got the better of you on that one, huh?
Well, as a member of the podcast that has done nothing but have full integrity, I apologized on air for it. It wasn't a written rule. It was a mea culpa moment. I accepted the responsibility.
So, Wayne, I have a quick question then. Your opinion about this, because you're the one that brought it up in the first place, and I think it's because you have a slightly worse win-loss record than I do. Would you feel good with the current format that you boys have set in place? Because I'm the only one that voted against it because I'm in first, obviously. If Begley won the overall doinks but had a losing record, do you feel good about that? Like, does that make Begley the best guy if he's like 15-19 on the season, but he beats us out because we're 14-11 or something?
Yeah, should have made more doinks.
Gross. All right.
I agree with Wayne, man. That's the part of the doink.
Every doink Begley has won, he's also had a chance to lose. Every doink he's lost, he's had a chance to win. He's just given himself more opportunities. Quit being so scared, man. Make doinks. Look, just look at this episode. Me and you, one of us will get another leg up on Beggs.
It's facts.
He didn't make a doink this episode. We did.
Right, but currently two of us have been right more times than we were wrong.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. I totally agree with you.
Okay.
And the win percentage mattering. The only reason that I went that way is because I wanted to keep, like, you have a good win percentage right now. What would be your purpose of making any more doinks?
It's facts.
Integrity. I'm not going to shy away from doinks.
Well, we've already determined that
not to
integrity isn't like the
preserve the
foremost thought in this podcast. We've already figured that out.
That's facts.
It's a way of keeping people.
Not for 2/3 of the podcast, Wayne.
You took a
Integrity's
doink on
preserved.
cancer. You took a doink against cancer. What are you talking about?
That was before we knew about it, though.
Stop it, Gone. You had a chance to bury the doink. You took it and laughed in my face. Where's the integrity?
Thanks. If I took that off, both of ours, your record would still be extremely laughable. You wouldn't make the playoffs in the NFL. All right, like that's how bad your record is right now.
You know what? I'm gonna offer this, and I'm gonna let Wayne vote on it. I'll take away my DFS doink win against Goni because integrity. He needs to officially rescind his John Mechie doink for integrity, and it's a wash. Deal?
That's between you all. I'm not in that.
Hey, that way, to my knowledge, the integrity of the podcast is intact.
I mean, now I just look like a bad guy if I'm saying no to integrity. But the reason why I don't
Well, you
wanna
are a
do
bad
it-
guy, so it's okay.
The reason why I don't want to do it is because you don't take doinks out.
It's
The
because
written
it
stone,
is because it hurts his percentage. I.e.,
Oh no, I'm not worried about the percentage. I'm going to have a better percentage regardless.
This is a unique circumstance where we need to do right. Let's just make things right, man.
But it
Just
sets a bad
rescind the
precedent.
doinks.
he
Set
doesn't
the
want to.
precedent.
It doesn't set a bad precedence. He doesn't want to make it right because if he does this, I'm in first in the doinks.
Wayne, I offered my integrity.
I didn't think about it like that, but I guess you're right.
I'm sleeping well tonight. I offered no.
Okay.
We can leave it as it is. That's fine. But I offered. Wayne, I officially offered. I'd like it timestamped.
I don't think Goni officially answered. Are you keeping? Are you
'cause
keeping your
Wayne just
cancer
made
doink?
it about. Nah, I'm not canceling.
I like it. Let's vote against more regulations. Go on. I agree with you.
So,
America, may the best man win.
even if he has a losing record.
But Wayne's got a point, right? It takes a little moxie. It takes some stones to make a doink. You need to be rewarded for that.
Okay, so I should get like 1.5 times doinks on this Terry McLaurin versus D Hop because I'm definitely the dog in that one.
I'll make you a doink.
Okay, go ahead. Don't give me any bullcrap either.
You liked Keenan Allen this week, right?
Yeah.
I'll take Justin
Jetta.
Jefferson.
Yeah, I'll take Justin
I-
Jefferson.
No. I've only ever taken Drake London in these things, boys.
All
Get
right,
out
Drake
here.
London it is. Keenan
Stop.
Allen versus Drake London.
Stop. Okay. If I took Chris Olave this week, I think he's going to have a monster week. Who would you like to take?
I'll take Keenan Allen against Chris Olave.
Done. That's fair. Book it.
I can do that. Wayne, we now have officially the same amount of doinks.
Beggs, you want to take Jared Cook? I'll take Cam Akers.
I'll take Jared Cook. I'll take Cam Akers. Deal?
You hate Cam Akers and you love Jared Cook.
I don't like Jared Cook very much.
No one likes Jared Cook, bro.
Jared Cook's been out of the league since
James
28.
Cook, God bless America. You know what I mean.
No, we didn't. Because we're talking doinks here.
James Cook, I'll take Cam Akers.
Gosh. That's a spicy meatball, actually.
It's in the blizzarding snow, Bags. What are you doing?
Is it not going to snow in Green Bay?
It's not going to blizzard there.
Does it not snow? I feel like I don't know why, but I just assumed
What do you
if it was
do when
snowing
it's
in Buffalo-
blizzarding? What do you do when it's blizzarding? Do you pass the piss out of the ball? Dummy.
Do you run it efficiently? Is that what you do?
You run it with great volume.
Okay, cool, man.
Hey, mind your business. You're not in this.
Wayne,
I don't butt into your doink propositions.
Sure you do.
Wayne, what if I took Jamar Chase and you took 2 Buccaneers receivers of your choosing? It's not official. I'm kind of thinking about that out loud.
Who
Would
do the Niners play? Or
Two
I'm sorry, who do the
Buccaneers-
Bucks play?
They play each other.
Play each
Bengals,
other.
Bucks. Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Why are you
like
using
how
your
he
microphone
said
as
it,
an
God,
eye
he
patch, man?
snapped called it. He would have snap called it. Am I making a bad decision?
Yes.
Tyler Boyd and Higgins may not play, and Hayden Hurst. They might all be out. He'd be by himself.
You're right, dude. You should definitely take the doink.
Tag on it.
It's a great idea, man. Jamar Chase is going to get all the play, and no one else. He might have 40 targets. Sorry, Joe Mixon might get 5.
Wayne, what if I gave you a receiver of your choosing plus Rashad White's fantasy points? And I'll take Jamar Chase. Is Lenny? I need a
Deal.
Good call, Wayne. It's a great doink.
Deal.
It's. Did you say deal?
Yeah. Wait, is Rashad White not playing?
He said deal. He said deal. It's over. It's all over.
Is he not? Is Rashad White? Is Rashad White out?
He might as well be, dude. I'm gonna put the doink in now.
For the doink him now. Wayne has to pick his receiver from Tampa.
Don't put the doink in. It hasn't happened yet. I'm going to check and see if Rashad White's playing.
He's playing, man.
He's playing. I wouldn't have done that if he wasn't playing. I have integrity.
What are we doing here? What is the long pause for?
Wayne's looking up Rashad White's eligibility. And then-
Yeah, I mean the guy sucks. He's playing against the best rushing defense in the league. What more do you want? What do you want, man? Who cares if he's healthy?
Bro, calm down, dude. Are you okay? Is your blood sugar low? I'm picking my
Madison?
receiver.
Alexander
He gave me
Madison
Rashad
or
White and a
Rashad White?
receiver. He gave me a receiver. Can I pick
Alexander
the other
Madison
half?
or Rashad White? Begs. Alexander
What?
Madison or Rashad White?
Vikings got the Colts, right?
Yeah.
Gosh, probably Rashad White just for the passing work.
Kareem Hunt or Rashad White?
Rashad White, Cream Hunt's dog water.
Gus Edwards or Rashad White?
Gus Edwards.
Okay. All right.
I think with Anthony Brown, they're going to run the ball 50 times, right? For easy.
Guaranteed.
I think Gus, you might be able to play Gus and JK maybe in a pinch.
Jalen Warren or Rashad White?
I'm taking Rashad White, man. Dude, I saw a crazy stat about Najee Harris. He got his 48th target last week. He reached his 48th target through week 6 last year.
I believe it. He had that 19 target game.
It's unbelievable, man.
I'll take Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin and Rashad White to Jamar Chase. He's going to get the Murphy Bunting treatment. It's my luck. Begley luck will.
Well, no, because our whole secondary is injured. That's who I didn't. That's who I wanted to take the time to check up on, but I'm not. He might get that weak Jamel Dean treatment.
All that means is he's going to get held and tackled every play, so you'll get the penalty against him, but he won't get the catch.
Well, it's going to be frustrating because Chris Godwin and Rashad White are going to get probably, I'm going to guess, a combined 80 yards and 1 touchdown called back due to a Donovan Smith hold. So Donovan Smith holds.
Boys,
That's where I'm at.
I believe it. Let's wrap. You want to wrap this show up with like 2 questions here? While we got it, and we'll just close her down.
Fire away.
Wayne, I know they're on a bit of a time crunch here. Okay. This is a 10 team. Addie Cole. It's a 1 quarterback PPR league. This guy has been offered CMC and Devonta for Jetta. There is no trade deadline in his league.
Is he a contender?
It doesn't say.
Is it a dynasty?
Yes. No trade deadline, dynasty, CMC and Devonta for Jetta.
I'd do it.
I'd do it too.
You taking Jetta or you taking CMC Devonta?
CMC Devonta.
Oh, I'm taking Jetta.
I'm taking CMC Devonta.
Let me hear the whys.
I mean, it's a dynasty. You're not going to get almost any better than Jetta. Jetta's looking like the best receiver in the game right now, as he set out to be at the beginning of the year. He's young. CMC, he had a phenomenal year this year, but he's going to be a year older. He's in a phenomenal offense. I don't think he really slows down too much next year, but he plays in San Fran, and he's a running back in San Fran. The injuries are coming.
Or they aren't. And he's the best running back in football.
That's fine. How many years does CMC got left in him?
2 more.
How many years Jetta got left in him?
8 more.
That's why.
How many years do you think Devonta Smith is just a throwaway?
Devonta Smith is very boom bust.
It was Devonta Adams.
Oh, that's different. I'm gonna CMC and Devontae Adams then. Devontae, not Devonta.
Where my Ebonics not right there? Well, yeah, Devontae Adams.
Yeah. They're spelled differently. They're pronounced differently.
I'm doubling
Devontae
down.
Adams. I'm gonna keep CMC and Devontae Adams then for sure.
The last one, Brentley. What is Josh Jacobs' value in the offseason? It's a great question. It's
You're
one
not
I'm
gonna-
sure-
Sell high. That's what I say.
That's the problem, though. You're not going to get fair value for him. What you think is fair value.
You're going to have to sell him. But, I mean, I think if whoever you're trying to get for him,
Is he back in Las Vegas? I think that matters.
and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think he's a first round plus. But you're going to have to sell. You're going to have to because if Josh Jacobs wasn't on your team, you probably don't really know what he did this year. So you're probably going to have to screen cap the game logs and send them to whoever you're trying to trade to.
He's been unbelievable.
See, but that's the problem right there, man. If you have to convince a guy in your league why a player is good, you're losing that trade.
If you can't get first round plus is his value to me. And if you can't get that, write him out.
What's the plus? How big are we talking?
A mid-tier WR2.
IT guy, man.
What if he goes to the Chiefs?
I don't like that.
I know, but his value is high. Wayne, you froze up, brother. We missed everything you said.
I said first round and mid-tier WR2.
I asked what if he goes to Kansas City?
Yeah, I heard that. You were good on me on my screen. That's all that matters. I'm recording.
His
That'd be terrible.
His
That'd be
value
awful.
goes up to most people, right?
It shouldn't.
Probably. It probably does, though.
It might, but it doesn't to me. It plummets to me.
No, I agree, but we're talking about perception. No one cares about, you want people to perceive players higher than you perceive. That's how you gain the value out of them, like to win trades more or less. But I don't think you get a wide receiver 2 and a 1. I don't know if
That's
that gets
his
it
value.
done.
That's his value to me, though. He's been a stud, and that's what the question is: what do you value him at? And if you shouldn't just off him just because, he's been playing good ball.
I mean, I agree. It's just
Do you
it's a
just let him?
difficult
Do you just let him
proposition.
walk for a first? I don't.
He's only going to be like 24. He's just super young.
He is super young.
I don't let him.
What
walk
if he
for
goes
first.
to Arizona? It's a great landing spot. They're saying Bijan might end up there. James Conner's gone.
it's going to depend on landing spot. I mean, I'd consider a 1 depending on how high it is. No?
Not unless you're getting like the 1 to get Bijan Robinson.
I'd probably do it for a top 5.
No.
Bro, we could be sitting here a year from now and he's on a different team and he's nothing.
Or we could be sitting here a year from now and he's on a different team and he's doing great. I mean, that's semantics.
Yeah, but the difference is he's going somewhere else. He's not going to have the continuity of his offense in the same playbook and system where he thrived. He was thriving.
He guys had 3 different coaches in 3 years now, though. To be fair,
I mean, he's not a quarterback.
that's what I'm saying though. Like the playbook doesn't really matter for him, right? Like
But the scheme does. The scheme does. The personnel, like all the things, man. Like I mean, the continuity of like the same players, the same team, the scheme. He's been, I don't know. Wayne could be 100% right. I'm not saying Wayne's wrong by any means. I'm just saying, and I understand where he's coming from. He's trying to capitalize on the high. It's just one of those things where it's unfair for you if you're a Josh Jacobs owner, because like I prefaced this entire conversation with, you're probably not going to get the value back that you feel you deserve, and that is probably worth.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. That's why I'm not taking an L on him.
Yeah.
I think you're stuck with him. And Goni might think that who you're stuck with is not good. I think who you're stuck with is going to be fine. But either way, I don't think you're going to, like Goni said, I don't think you're going to get the value that honestly he deserves at this point.
So I think our final answer is here. 105 or better at a minimum. Nothing less, and be prepared to ride him until his wheels fall off.
You just get stuck in those positions sometimes. Like we got stuck holding the bag on Zeke in our dynasty team, and that's okay. Like we won a championship last year. We're the number 2 seed going into the playoffs this year, and we could win again. Like we got caught holding the bag on Zeke, and that's okay because we're winning championships along the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay.
If Eckler goes down, Zeke's a fine guy to plug in. He'll be all right.
Get your ring.
Yep. All right, Wayne. That's it for questions, brother.
All right, Mad Mob. DFS integrity for MVP.